everybody, we're going to get started with our March Club Q kit. This one is called Pack Your Bags. It's a fun travel kit, and we are going to get started on this using our new Travel the World paper line, which we actually have on our website now, our entire Travel the World paper line, along with the quotes and phrases that match it. If you're interested, I know that this one is going fast because this is a popular line, so check that out with the paper pack and the quotes that go with it. To get started on this kit, we are going to do all the cutting first. We have suggested Powder Puff Chalking inks, Roots, Dragonfly, and Baja Blue. Roots and Dragonfly are in our new 12 pack for 2024. It's called the Secret Garden Collection of Powder Puff Chalking inks. So if you don't have that yet, check that out as well. But again, if you want to use, these are kind of brighter blues and stuff. If you want to make it a little more antique looking, you can use more browns and gray. Totally up to you. There's also this green paper. You can use something that is a little more green. You grab what works for you. I'm going to move this out of the way. And we are going to get started on our cutting. So I actually did start already by trimming out the vellum. And these don't have to be exactly on the line. This one does because it will show, but this one we actually are folding the edges around the paper. So, but if you want to cut on those blue lines, cut those out. And you feel free to pause anytime you need to get some things cut out or die cuts punched out, and then just hit play again when you're ready. And I already trimmed out the quote here. I'm going to put this in and trim out these little strips. I'm going to put it right at the bottom of the quote and trim, and I'm going to slide it over and trim right in between. And you can chalk it up. So if you see any of that white left over, don't even worry about it because you can chalk up the edges and get rid of any of the extra white. And then I'm just going to trim the edges here because that's easier than running it through the cutter just for a little piece there. Okay. Now we have one cutting diagram in there, and it's a pretty simple one. I'll walk you through that. So go ahead and grab your cutting diagram, and we are going to do the paper with the plane and the car and the luggage on it first, because we are just going to make one cut at 4 inches, and you're going to cut the top off at 4 inches, so you have a 4 by 12. And set that one aside. Now, if you can see here on this cutting diagram, it shows the pieces that you want to cut out so that you have the plane, the compass, and the bags and boots and stuff here. That you can do at the very end to kind of finish this off, because that's a little bit of fussy cutting. We don't normally do much fussy cutting, but I just love the look of this plane and these things on this paper. So at the very end, those will be kind of the last touches that we put on there. So go ahead and set this paper aside, and then when we're done, you can cut out around here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, you can chalk up edges so it kind of looks messy. It does not have to be a perfect fussy cut there. So this diagram, we are actually going to start with this 3 by 12 piece at the bottom. So slide your light blue paper in to 3 inches, and we're going to trim off a 3 by 12 inch piece. So that's this piece. Then we will move over and we'll do the 1.5 by 11.5. So we are going to trim 1.5. Just slide this in to 1.5. by 11.5. Just trim a little bit off the end there. And we are going to go ahead and cut this into a banner while we have it right here with the little dovetails on the end, and I'll show you how to do that. What I do is I take one end, I pinch it together. You don't want to totally crease it. Just kind of pinch it together like that. And then from the corner, you want to cut this way. So start at the corner and cut back toward your hand, like that. And then it'll fold back out flat. You won't even hardly see that crease. And then what I do to make the other side the same is I go corner to corner. I fold it, don't crease it here, but just fold it so that you have a guide. And you get the same little dove's tail there on the other end. Ta-da! And then set that aside. Now we're going to do, we need 2 4.5 by 6.5. So I'm going to put this in long ways. And we're going to cut this 4.5. So we need to go down here to 4.5. Turn that piece, 6.5. Feel free to pause if you need to. This is just a scrap. I know a lot of times we tell you to hang on to scraps because we might use them. These little scraps we don't. This is all kind of extra paper in here. So you have a 4.5 by 6.5, and then you have this big piece to cut one more 4.5 by 6.5. You can put it in wherever. Cut the 6.5, and then turn it and cut the 4.5. And these are leftover pieces, which could make a good tag or something, just for another page. Nice big tag for another page. So save those little strips and stuff if you would like. And that's the only cutting diagrams we have. The next, and you may have already punched out your die cuts, which is totally fine, but this is where I want to tell you we are using some of the pieces that you might think originally that are scraps, and they are not. So let me go through this. And also, if you chalk up anything you want, I'm probably not going to chalk up everything just for the video, but you can stop and chalk as we go. This die cut, so we'll take out this photo backer here. We'll take out the compass. These ones are a little more delicate here. And then the centerpiece comes out, but we use this outside square. So make sure you don't throw away this outside square here. Okay, so hang on to this. And these right here, we're going to use these 2 1/2-inch strips. So I'm just going to trim those out because they don't go all the way to the edge, so that they stay in there. This bottom piece can just go away. And then you have 2. I'm trying to do this without, I mean, trim it so that I don't tear the frame next to it. So you have 2 1/2-inch by 12 strips here. And then out of this one, you can punch out this frame, but make sure you hang on to not necessarily this outside frame, but the one on the inside that will have space for photos. So this piece is garbage. You don't have to hang on to that. Once you punch these photo backers in here out, hang on to those. And if you'd rather trim them, you go right ahead. It's less likely you'll tear them if you trim them out. And this is the compass that you'll be putting on last with your little compass that you're going to fussy cut out of that paper. Okay, so this we're going to use. So hang on to this piece and this piece out of there. Because as you can see, this actually goes right on top of there. If you want to go ahead and glue that together, you can. You only want glue just barely on the inside edge. So I have this Barely Art Precision Craft Glue, which we have on our website now, and we love, love, love it. I am just going to put a few dots really close to the edge. And this stuff is really tacky, but I love it because you have like a second or two to kind of move things around, but it also is very precise. So you can get some of the die cuts that are a little more intricate. But this is plenty. You just need a few dots all around. And then this gets centered right on top of that green piece. Okay. And then we'll get our background papers out and just start layering this stuff on. Pull the background papers down with all the luggage and stuff on it. Make sure I have it in the camera here for you. Okay, so starting on page 1, you had a 3 by 12 blue piece of paper that you cut out. This is the part that we are going to wrap. We're going to center it. So there's about a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch. And you want to center this so that you can fold this over and glue it on the back side. And really the easiest thing for this is to run maybe an ATG gun or double-sided tape along here. I am going to fold it and just use a few dots of the Barely Art glue. But you want to fold this in. Let's see. I'm just going to put a piece of paper under this so you can see a little better. So you pull it right into the edge and fold it flat. And it goes right around that piece of paper. I'm going to use a little bit of this glue and just run it on the side, and the vellum will stick down to it. Double-sided is a little bit easier because it's a little tackier for this. But you never want to put glue on vellum where it will show, because it shows through your vellum. So this is an easy way. If you're using vellum, just wrap it around a tag or a piece of paper or whatever you're using, and then glue it on the back, and you never see that. Once that's on there, I'm actually going to chalk it up a little bit. I have Blue Lotus here. I am going to do the edges, run it down the side here, and it just kind of makes it pop a little bit off of there. I love the look of Powder Puff chalking inks on vellum. And when I have something that has like bigger words on it, I actually use the corner of these chalk inks and I like highlight words throughout there which you can actually do with this one. New Adventures. See the World. Maybe do some of her more color. This color is Petunia. It has a little bit of orange, peach color in it. But maybe just highlight a couple words on there. Add some color. Anyway, this is actually my my sample ink here. It's a little messed up. Got some other colors on it. Anyway, that's an extra little tip on how to add some colors in there, and it looks gorgeous on vellum. Okay, to start this page, you have your 4x12 wood grain paper. That is going to go a 1/2 inch from, I'm going to put a little adhesive on here. You can get yours lined out if you would like to, and a lot of times that's what I do, is get it lined out and then come back through and add glue. So totally up to you. You can get it all the way set up, then come through and adhere things, or just as you go. A lot of times I like to kind of get it lined up so I know how much space I need. Oops. So these two photo backers I would not glue down yet because we actually are going to add to them. And I'm going to chalk the edges of these just because I love this Blue Lotus. And remember, your picture is going to cover up most of this, so I'm doing this a little messy, but your picture will cover most of that up anyway. You can adhere these on top in the center. Well, this is why I normally don't glue things down, because I already forgot 2 pieces. I normally set things up and then glue it down. Luckily, I just put a little bit here. Your 2 brown, or your 2 tan strips out of your die cuts, they actually go across the bottom. So about 1/4 inch up from the bottom. Oh, there's my dog saying hi. Mac. Saying hi to everybody. So I did this video at home because I thought it would be more quiet than at work, and apparently my dog thinks otherwise. He just wanted to say a quick hello, I guess. He gets really sad when the boys go to school. I have 3 boys that play with him constantly. So when they're gone, he is not a happy camper. He's a funny dog, and we've only had him about 4 months now. And he is a Dachshund Lab mix. And he is long like a lab, and he has about 3-inch legs like a dachshund. He's hilarious. Okay, so once you have those in place, you can, let's find our little strips. So you can either add photos to these, and then these can go across the photo, or you can go ahead and put these on, and then your photo can go above it. Totally up to you. I'm going to go ahead and glue mine on because I know that I don't have photos. And who knows, I may never get photos in these. I know Patsy always says when she's teaching that Joy says, in 10 years, when you go to put photos in here, which is about true. The fun part is putting it together, and then finding the photos is the hard part. I always get caught up in looking through photos to find the perfect photo. And then there are brads in your little bag, and you can just poke through the corners here. You can either put them in before you put your picture, or you can put your picture on and poke them through the corner of your pictures. And then these get glued down to your page. Now we put together our frame for the right side. And what I would do if you don't have your photos yet that you want in here, I would just put a little adhesive here and here so that you can peel this back up and slide pictures in later. I'm just going to do a little in the middle here just to hold it in place, and it just gets centered so that you have, I think it's about 3/4 of an inch all the way around. But then you can stick a photo in behind there, trace the size, still add a photo later. You want the thick tan piece to go across here. And now your vellum that you cut out, I am actually going to chalk this up a little bit before I even put it on. And again, you can do some of the words if you want. I'm going to highlight some of the words, I think, in orange again before I add it. But I'd like to make it just kind of messy, just to add a little color. And you need 2 of the copper brads. You center that right in the middle of your blue, I don't know what you call these, a banner piece, or I always call these dove's tails. And then that gets held on so that you don't have to use any glue that shows. It gets held on with a brad at each end. So once you center it, make sure it's straight across there. So we live really close to the elementary school. When the kids come out for recess is when the dog gets really excited because he thinks the kids are coming home. He can hear them over there. So I apologize if you hear kids playing or dogs barking. Okay. So this side, super simple. You had these die cuts. We're going to use this circle, and this frame, or this compass, is actually the one that goes over here, and it goes around this compass that you're going to be cutting out, fussy cutting out of here. So those you can all do at the end, and that'll be finishing touches. This compass, the green compass, we need to put your quote behind there, so center that. And what I would do is just, again, this is why I love this Barely art glue. It's real precise and small, just a few dots here and there. And then add, I like to lay that out straight and then put this over top. And maybe not do it right onto your page like that, but on a scrap piece of paper in case you get glue. Just like that. And then you have your circle. I'm going to put some right in the middle. You don't want to do it on the outside because this part is going to show. So just a little bit in the middle. And then this gets centered on there and added to the center, oops, here. Super simple page over here, but I love this one with these colors and kind of an antique look for travel pages, but it works for all kinds of travel. This could be beach, could be Europe, be used for any of it. And just like that, you have 2 pages ready to go. Holds 6 pictures. You also could, once you put your plane and your compass and stuff on here, you could still add little tags with some pictures. There's lots of ways to add different things to this. So if you have extra paper in your paper pack, add to it if you'd like to. And I hope you enjoyed Club Q this month. We appreciate you being a member. If you love this paper, check it out. It's on our website now. It's called Travel the World. And we have the quote sheets to go with it. And thanks so much for being a member, and we will see you next month.